In this video, we're answering burning questions about what are the chances of getting S-gear drops, where do you get the bone ring from, where do you acquire the twisted queen's necklace from, what's the best blessing, and adding my personal impressions. So as I mentioned before, I've seen a lot of people, especially lately, asking a lot of questions and not always getting their answer, so I decided to make a video about it. Hopefully, this will help a lot more people get their answers, because as we all know, Bless Unleashed doesn't really help new players or even veteran players understand how the game works exactly. So for the sake of neatness and everybody finding everything they're looking for, I'm going to put timestamps to let everybody know what we're discussing at what time. So check the description below if you're interested in skipping to any of the topics that we're going to cover today. And also, just want to point out real quick before we start that you can always join my Discord server. You can find the link in the description below, where you can ask literally any question regarding Bless Unleashed or particularly Rangers or any other class. So, let's talk about S grades. Now, everybody's been speculating about the percentage of drops and everything. Now, I've seen a lot of numbers thrown around, anywhere from 0.001 or 0.2% chance of getting an S grade every time you finish a dungeon, as in the 35 abyssal dungeons. I'm playing on console, so we haven't had the level 40 ones yet. But from my understanding, the chances are still the same, whether you're playing on PC or still playing on console and haven't received the patch yet. The chances of getting S grades from level 35 abyssal dungeons, it's still the same as it was before. It's only that they increased the chances for the level 40 ones. So for the level 40 ones, apparently they drop double the amount, but the thing is, it doesn't really matter, because the number was so low to begin with that having it doubled is still a low number. So with that in mind, I started doing some digging, and the only thing that I found was this. Apparently, nobody knows for sure the chances of S grades dropping from level 35 abyssal dungeons, and the developers or their representatives are not allowed to discuss any of it. That is probably because if people would know the probability of getting them being so low, they would stop playing. So in other words, we're better off not knowing how low the chances are. Realistically speaking though, I've seen S grades drop from abyssal dungeons pretty often. I mean, for myself personally, I've done about maybe 400 runs in one weekend without getting any semblance of S grades, but a lot of the people that I ran with have gotten them. As a matter of fact, I remember running 4 times back to back and one person getting 4 S grades back to back. So you can get them, it's just that sometimes you don't have the required luck. So let's talk a little bit about the bone ring and the twisted queen's necklace. The quickest answer about getting the bone ring is, well, you can't get it. Apparently it doesn't drop from anywhere at the moment, but what most people suspect is that it's gonna drop from the twisted bone dragon. I, for one, don't really think that's gonna be the case. I think it's more likely that it drops from maybe a Lich's Respite or something like that, but the thing is, we just don't know. Next up, we have the Twisted Queen's Necklace. Apparently this doesn't drop on console yet, and that's just because the only way you can acquire it is by killing Twisted Spider Queen. Now, from what I can tell, Twisted Spider Queen doesn't spawn anymore because of the issue that we had on console with the regionals. But as soon as that's fixed, I'm pretty sure we can expect that we can farm this pretty often. Lastly, we're gonna talk about blessings. Now I think this is the most commonly asked question which is what's the best blessing for mage, or what's the best blessing for ranger, or what's the best blessing for my class. Well, the answer is any blessing. As long as you level it up and you max it out, it's gonna be good. If it's not good at the moment, it's gonna be good soon, because the developers apparently are trying to make them so that all of them are good in different scenarios. So the best advice that I can give you is choose a blessing that you like and stick with it and max it out, or just level it as much as you can. Because if you max a blessing and also invest in the skills that that particular blessing uses, then your character is going to be much stronger than normal. A good example of this is for rangers using Lionheart. Now, I use Lionheart every time I go in a dungeon, and because of that, I get a lot of people messaging me asking me if I want to go with them, just because of my blessing being maxed out and because of my playstyle. I actually have a guide on how you can play Lionheart Ranger. You can check that out afterwards. Another good example is on my mage. I've chosen to go with Valor because it's the cheapest, and it seemed like it would benefit my playstyle with mage. So I've just went ahead and leveled it up as much as I can, and you can tell that it works out really good. Like I said before, as long as you choose a blessing that you like and invest into the skills that that blessing uses, you're gonna be good. With all that being said though, obviously there are blessings that perform better in certain situations. For example, on my ranger I also use Valor, but that's not really mandatory. As you can see from this clip, I'm not using Valor in PvP, even though my Valor is pretty leveled up. I would have performed better in this 15s if I would have changed to Valor. It's just that I had to quickly accept it and go inside the instance, and I didn't have time to change it. But as you can see, it's still performing okay, because the main skills that I use are leveled up, and the blessing that I use right now, which is Wolf, is still okay. But there are benefits of using certain blessings in certain situations. And with that, we conclude our video for today. Thank you very much for watching. If you have any questions, drop them in the Discord or in the comments below. Take care, kiting on low health.